Welcome to the Twin Cities Leaders Podcast Leadership Over Dinner series, a summer series where I sit down with artists, creators, and founders. Today I'm talking to Tony Clark, founder of Good Vibes Barbershop, right here in EaTo Italian restaurant in Minneapolis. Come inside with me. Well, hey, I am excited to finally sit down and talk to you.
For real.
It's been a long time overdue. Tony Clark, the founder of Good Vibes Barbershop in Minneapolis. So I want to talk about, when did you first realize that barbering was not just a skill, but an art? When did you realize that?
I think I started cutting my hair when I was like, I think it was like 14. My mom used to cut my hair, but when she started cutting my hair, she used to give me like the old school fade, like kid and play, like bald, no blend, no nothing, you know? And then my father-in-law came in between and he showed me how to fade, you know what I mean? And he used to do it on me. I used to get like a taper or a ball fade. And then from there, he stepped out the picture, but he had showed me kind of like how he do it. And he did it old school. He had like a comb and he used to fade. Nowadays you got guards and stuff like that, so it's more easier. So learning from him, and he stepped out the picture for a little bit, and I was like, I didn't want my mom to cut my hair because getting a fade from him was just like spectacular. So I was like, man, I'm gonna just start doing it myself. So start fading myself, and from there it's like so many mess ups, man. And then over time I got better, but it was off and on. But I think I realized I used to draw too, so that was one of the things too. And like I knew as I was into it, like I used to take hours in the bathroom to try to get it perfect. And it was like that. I think that's when I started to develop, like that's when I started to like it. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So, because when you look at just when I look at different people's hairstyles, like it is kind of like art. I mean, you're taking a canvas, someone's head, right? And you are creating something from what they're telling you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what's that like?
Man, I like for people to come in like just rough, like they never, you know, like they was off the street, and to come in. The transformation for me I think is big for me, like to take nothing and just turn it into like crazy. It's just like a blank piece of paper and just start to draw, you know what I mean? So I think I like transformations a lot, you know what I mean?
So now, being able to cut hair is one thing, but going out on your own and starting your own business, what gave you the confidence to do it?
I think, so the shop I came from was Fades of Gray. And I came in with two old school cats, and I like to be around the older generation because I like their stories, and outside of the stories, like they taught me a whole lot, you know what I mean? He taught me the cutting side, and then he also taught me the business side. But I think from running his shop, I ran his shop for about, I would say maybe 6 years. 6 years of him just letting me run it. He was in and out too, you know. And I think I was just like, man, you know what? I can do this. You know what I mean? It's just getting the shop set up, and then the managing part. You know what I mean? So I think him letting me run it a few times, I was just like, I can do this.
Was you scared?
I think I was more nervous because it was his shop. You know what I mean? And he valued his shop a lot. You know what I mean? I was always the person that people pleased and wanted to keep it like how he wanted. And it's just that knowing that it's not mine, so it was times where he wasn't there while I was running it. And if anything go wrong, I feel like I was responsible for it. It's one thing to be responsible for yourself, but it's another to be responsible for somebody else's. So, yeah.
So you decide to go out on your own, call it Good Vibes.
Yep.
Tell me, how did you come up with that name?
So the name, I was gonna name it just Vibes. And I think working in his shop and running his shop, times where he wasn't there, I brought a different vibe. You know, he's older, I was younger. So I think being in his shop, a lot of his clients that I used to cut when he wasn't there, they would be like, hey man, you bring a whole different vibe. We kind of like this, man. He should go and give his shop over to you. You know what I mean? So I think from there, I was like, you know what? I wanted to be something different. You know what I mean? Something just me, just good vibes and good spirits. So I was just like, I'm gonna name it Vibes. And my wife was just like, why don't you just name it Good Vibes? And I was like, man, somebody got a shop called Goodfellas. I don't want to name it that. And she was like, people got all types of names, so just name it Good Vibes. And I went with that.
So that's how it came about.
That's how it came about.
That was how many years ago?
That was 5 years ago.
5 years ago. So when y'all were having that conversation, You were saying it was vibes, and she said, "Okay, let's make it good vibes." Like, was it just like over dinner? Like, was y'all just having conversation like during the week about it?
We was having a conversation.
Okay.
Yep. And then I told her about the Goodfellas shop.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I wasn't gonna name it. She was just like, just go with Good Vibes.
Good Vibes.
But it was a conversation
Okay.
that we had.
So, you know, they say everything it gets talked about in a barbershop. You know, we talk about it from a political standpoint, sports, just culture, personal stuff. So like you get to hear all these different stories from different people pretty much on the 30 minutes. Right? And so how do you process that? How do you make space of you hear from one person for 30 minutes, then you go to the next person, they talking about something totally different.
Right. I think a lot of my clients, I mean, they've been coming to me for years. Like, so I get a lot of my old clients. So I'm kind of used to like, you know, kind of know what they're gonna talk about. You know what I mean? So it's not really that hard. So yeah, I mean, it's just like second nature. You know what I mean? Been cutting for 13 years. It's just like it's easy for me to switch. You know what I mean?
So you create this environment that people feel comfortable coming to you and sharing like their most personal things.
Yeah.
Right. And so how do you process? Do you take it home with you? Do you kind of leave it at the barbershop? What do you do?
What says at the barbershop stays at the barbershop. Yep.
All right, so that is true.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. And because it's happened, like, and you get continuation of like conversation, right? Because like once the 30 minutes is up, then that person leaves, but 2-3 weeks later they come back and you kind of pick up where you left off at. Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, that requires a lot of good listening skills on your part.
It does. Yep.
I mean, you are not only paying attention to what they're saying, but you're also paying attention to cutting their hair.
Yeah.
And so, were you always a good listener?
I can't. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say no because like I would listen, but then after a while, I don't know if that's the Gemini in me. I kind of tune it out. But I think over the years of cutting, I just learned to listen. You know what I mean? Because it's like for me, I always want to be remember what we talked about. You know, because I feel like for the clients, it makes the clients feel like that I'm listening, you know what I mean? So like last conversations, like, hey man, you remember you was talking to me about your kid going to school? I always try to pick up on stuff like that so it can be another conversation that we can start, you know, to make people feel good or feel listened to. Cause like a lot of, I mean, at least for barbers, like we're like therapists, you know what I mean? We're like therapists, we're like, man, psychiatrists. So it's like, it's important to like, hear what people go through, you know what I mean? Because you never know, you know what I mean? Like a lot of times for men, we don't express ourselves. So the barbershop is the place. So
For sure.
but yeah.
Now that is good. So when you started Good Vibes, talk to me about like, how did you create the environment? Like what were the values and rules that you wanted, people to adhere by so they can have this amazing experience?
I think I feel like I'm a people pleaser to me. So I always want people to be at a place where it's comfortable. It's a smaller shop, so it's a little bit more intimate. And working at the shop that I worked at, he was big on like making people feel comfortable, you know, making a vibe nice so people can come back. You know what I mean? So I think from there, when I opened my shop, I wanted to keep that same vibe. You know what I mean? And I'm all about good energy, like just good vibes. So, just my personality too, goofy, funny. So I just wanted to keep that same vibe because I felt like it's what kept my clients coming back. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Well, speaking of funny, being funny, I mean, you not only cut hair, but you do skits, right? And you have a podcast as well. So I want to talk to me about this skit part of Good Vibes. I've seen some of the skits and they are hilarious. Walk me through how that came about.
I think it came about during the pandemic. Like, I mean, I have always wanted to do it, but I think the pandemic, it gave everybody time to do whatever, you know what I mean? And I think that was a good time for me to start skits. It was something that I always wanted to do. So I was just like, let me just start doing them. So
How does one start a skit? I mean, because you have to have some type of acting ability.
I think
But
I think watching a lot of movies, man, like comedy movies. I mean, man, Roscoe Jenkins, Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy. Um, Man, anything that's funny to me, I get ideas. You know what I mean? And I think for Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy, it's like big because they all play like multiple characters. So I think that's how they gave me the motivation to do it. So, but yeah.
so give my listeners an example of a most recent skit you did, and
Okay.
how did it come about?
Most recent skit I did, I feel like I do a lot of barbershop skits because like everything goes on a barbershop. And most recent skit I did was a person being too picky to the point where they got kicked out the shop. So
Picky about what they wanted done with their hair?
yeah, what they wanted done with their hair.
Okay.
So I call it, some people call it particular, but I call it picky. You know what I mean? And so I do have some clients like that. I'm not gonna put no names out like that, but I've been cutting them so long where I'm kind of patient with them. You know what I mean? But at sometimes it's just like some stuff I just can't do. You know what I mean? It's like if you're thinning or if you know certain areas of your hair don't look right, it's like I can only do so much. But I really be like when I cut, I really try to finesse things to make it fit. Even though it don't fit, I try to make a way. Sometimes I'll be creating stuff and cutting hair and I don't even know what I'm doing until I'm finished. And it's like, okay, it look good.
Right.
And I'll be like, man, just creativity in the moment.
So I've seen a skit when because you wear like a little afro wig and stuff, with curls and stuff. But not only just the visual, like you become like that character. Like, so who creates like the lines and the back and forth?
Right. So usually I used to write, but I just improv a lot. So usually I have a theme around one character, and then all my other characters bounce off that one character. So I'll be like, I already knew I was gonna do picky. So the picky was gonna be, the character was gonna be the guy walking in the shop that was being picky, and then everybody else pretty much improv off that one character. So that's usually how I do it.
It's hilarious, and not only do you do that, but you dance.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about your origin of dancing and how that came about.
So dancing came about Chicago. My mom and my aunties used to Chicago house footwork.
Okay.
So I think from there I learned that first, and I think from there may have been like 12 or 14, and then I started to watch dance movies, Beat Street, Breaking, and I learned by seeing. So watching that, and then You Got Service, one of the biggest hip hop movies, like I think it was like the 90s. So just watching movies, man. Just watching movies, and then from movies I got better over time. But nobody knew I knew how to dance because I was always quiet, you know, coming up. And then I think I did a high school performance, and that's when like everybody knew I knew how to dance. But it was just like I used to always dance with my head down because I was so shy.
Really?
And
So you didn't go to dance school.
No dance school.
You learned how to dance by watching these other dancers on movies.
Yep.
So then, where did the confidence come from to lift your head up after once you learned how to dance?
It took me some years, but I think I had to focus on the music and just creating in the moment. And I think over the years, when I started to perform at like big places, like do choreographers evenings, like for Walker's Art, Guthrie, they used to get on me all the time about, man, you know, when you performing, you want to look out into the crowd, you know what I mean? Not perform with your head down. But it took me a while to do it. And I think for me, what helped me is kind of just like really getting into the music and just like tuning everybody out. So I think that would help. That's what helped.
So this is fascinating because you gain confidence through dancing, but it was a gradual process.
Yeah, it was a gradual process.
I think about when you cut someone's hair and how that builds confidence in them as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you talked about transformation early on. And so, I mean, what does it feel like when you see like a person, like they look up, give them the mirror and they just feel like a whole new person? How does that feel?
It feels good for somebody to trust me to, because like a lot of people, like, especially when you standing back on somebody and you just cutting their hair and they just like, you know, because it's not like a stylist where they can actually turn you towards a mirror. You know what I mean? Like we cutting the back of you, and a lot of people, some people would be nervous, and I feel like it have been people that have been nervous, and like through the process, I'll let them look at the mirror just to kind of like calm their nerves down. But I think the whole process, man, like it for people to trust me to do what I do, like it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. It's like I like making people look good. You know what I mean? And I feel like my art, like it's you like a walking billboard. So if you go out to shop and don't nobody like it, then that's a reflection of me. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm always trying to give my best in whatever cut I do, regardless of how I feel. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So not only, I keep adding these things, not only a barber, not only a skit producer and actor, not only a dancer, but now you just recently created this podcast with you and your wife. So tell me about how you added all that into this as well.
I think so. We had a podcast maybe like 3 years ago, like a while back, and we was doing that. Kind of let that go for a while due to personal stuff that was going on in our lives at the time, and then we picked it back up with just me and her. And I think it was one of those things where husband and wife, we kind of wanted to do something together with just us. So, and I mean, from our first podcast, a lot of people like our energy and our vibe, you know, because it's like not like your typical husband and wife. We kind of like she's her and I'm me, you know what I mean? And it's just like we got. I feel like we got a good balance of each other. You know, I'm the thinker and she's more the doer. So I think our back and forth is what people like with our podcast. And like we keep it real, man. You know, like no sugarcoat, but we understand each other too. You know, just years of being together.
So there's a common theme that I'm hearing through this good vibe energy ecosystem of yours, and that is you want people to feel welcome, you want people to have fun, you want to entertain people, you want to bring smiles to people's faces, and you want to help people.
Right.
And so, I mean, in that thread of good vibes, did you, when you named it Good Vibes the Barbershop, did you see like the evolution of like how that name would carry weight into all these other ventures that you have outside of barbering?
I didn't, but I think for me it's like once it's crazy because I feel like once like I named my shop Good Vibe, I told myself that I want it to be like a lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I know we all go through things, but I always try to find the goodness in the bad, you know what I'm saying? And just try to stay positive because there's so much stuff that goes on in the world, man. Like negativity is like, it's easy to be negative. It's hard to, you know, be positive, you know what I mean? Because, you know, life gets, you know, get hard, get stressful. So I always try to, no matter what I go through, I always try to keep a good personality because I feel like energy rubs off on people. So if somebody having a bad day coming in the shop, I'm always trying to find a way to kind of uplift them, you know what I mean? So that's just me, man. And I love, besides the art of cutting hair, I love the whole essence of the whole barbershop thing, talking. Cause I mean, talking to people help me, you know, it's like my therapy, you know what I mean? Cause we all go through things. Just talking and vibing with people is just like a beautiful thing. Cause you just never know what people go through, man. So.
That is awesome, man. I am, because again, when you know, I've known you now for, I don't know, a very long time.
Yeah.
But I just see like how like you like to help people. I mean, you are always, you are a great listener. But you create these environments where people to come in and feel comfortable. And you read the room. You have to read the room too, right? Because some people don't want to talk. Some people just want to come in, get their hair cut, and you gotta know how to, you know, deal with all these different types of personalities. And so, and obviously, I mean, that comes with practice.
Yeah, it does. It does.
How do you do that? Like, because some people find it difficult to read rooms.
I think for me, my barber teacher used to always be like, when customers come in the shop, make it about them. You know what I mean? Don't make it about yourself. Make them want to come back to you. You know, whether it's, cause she always say like, half of it is the haircut, but the rest of it is the conversation. You know what I mean? So I could be a decent barber and somebody come to me cause I'm consistent and they could, you know, good conversation. You know, they like the vibe of the shop. You know what I mean? So I think for me, like I said, I got a lot of repeat clients, so I'm used to just how to deal with my clients. But even if I get new clients from dealing with so many clients, it's like I kind of know I can kind of feel people energy. So like somebody come in the shop and they don't want to talk, I kind of like do the consultation first. What would you like? You know what I mean? What could I do more? So I start that first, you know what I mean? And I kind of fill them out from there. You know what I mean? And I have some clients that don't talk. They'll come in the shop and get a haircut and that's it and that's all, you know what I mean? And I have some clients that like to talk a little bit more than others, but it's just like, I think I kind of like through the consultation, I kind of figured that out through there, so.
This segment is sponsored by Kowalski's Markets, where it's all about the joy of good food. So you hear from, all these different people, and I'm sure they tell you about all these cool places maybe that they went to on the weekend and stuff. So now I'm gonna ask you, what's your Twin Cities hidden gem? It can be a place, event, or experience that you think more people should know about.
One is Pour in Champlain.
Okay. What is it? Tell me about it.
It's, I know as far as what I eat, I get the steak bites.
Okay, so it's a restaurant.
It's a restaurant, yep.
Okay, okay.
Restaurant, good vibe, man, good music. It's a front bar. I mean, it's a real nice spot, man. It's a vibe. It's definitely a vibe when you walk in. Good music, old school. Everybody's nice, so yeah. I haven't been there in a while, but that's a hidden gem.
All right.
And another one is Char Bar.
Okay.
Char Bar, it's North Loop. And it's Char Bar is inside of Butch and the Boar.
Oh yeah, is that the 90s? They play 90s music?
Yeah.
Like a speakeasy?
Yeah. Well,
is that,
yeah.
Is that, okay. Yeah. Okay.
So that's a good spot too. And same thing, good vibes, good music, good energy. So I like going to stuff like that, man, because that's good vibe. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So yeah, that's two of my hidden gems.
Tony, it's been long overdue.
Man, man.
I've been wanting to have this conversation with you for a long time, so I'm glad we were able to do it today.
Yeah, for sure.
So thanks a lot, man.
It's good to be a part of this, man.